you join me here as we're starting our diplomacy game here with Harald of Norway. We're going to be on Deity and doing the typical online speed, and we're on a shuffle map. And it's, Norway's really strange because it's one of those empires, kind of like the Chinese Empire, whereby they've only had one person in Harald, but they have various versions of him. Like, normally, you'd think if you have a second leader or a second version, then you would give it to somebody else, like Germany's empire of Ludwig and Frederick, or, Mongolia's empire of Genghis Khan or Kublai Khan. But let's have a look at his kit, shall we? Alright, he's got a lot of stuff. Some I value more than others, and we'll get through it right now. Thunderbolt of the North allows coastal raiding for all naval melee units with plus 50% production towards all naval melee units. So obviously, if you are interested in trying to go domination on the seas, then he can absolutely fit that. Receive science from pillaging and coastal raiding mines in addition to gold. So it's all about pillaging, which I rarely do in my games because I'm not really a warmonger. Pillaging or coastal raiding quarries, pastures, plantations, and camps provide culture in addition to faith. So it's really valuable, I think, but, I haven't really messed with it myself. And it gains the Viking Longship unique unit with sailing, which is a really nice early boost to era score among anything else. Maybe a little too early. We just did our last video, and if you want to see it, the link is in the description below, about golden ages and how in the earliest golden age you don't really have the kind of economy set up to, do that monumentality shift. So maybe a little on the early side, but still nice to have. Nar. Units gain the ability to enter ocean tiles after researching the shipbuilding technology. Naval melee units heal in neutral territory. Units ignore additional movement costs from embarking and disembarking. I really like the idea of the last part. Of all things for a religious victory. It's not what we're doing today. We're doing Diplo with our friend Harald here. But it's still very interesting to, if you're on an islands map or something where you need to do a lot of embarking and disembarking and having those apostle units freely move across the map. Because it's all units, right? It's not just civilian, or it's not just melee, it's not just any, military units. It's any unit, which is pretty cool. Viking Longship, Norwegian unique ancient era naval unit that replaces the galley, which is what you get with sailing. And I think you unlock normally the galley with sailing, so you just straight up get it in this case. Can pillage enemy coastal lands and capture civilians if adjacent using its coastal raiding ability. And that is quite a... I feel like it's too niche to really crop up too many times, even if you are aiming to do that sort of thing. But imagine stealing a settler that way. That would be pretty nice. Plus 4 movement while in coastal waters. That is a huge amount of movement. That is insane. Jesus. You can definitely scan your neighbors and nearby lands pretty quickly with that. I really like Norway, predominantly for the ability to, if you're in a bad spot, and we kind of are if you have a look at our map right now, we're kind of on the edge here, to actually be able to say, screw this place, I'm going to go overseas. We might end up doing that in this game. I'm not sure yet. Okay, so now back to his massive kit with loads of specialties, loads of era score to be had. The Berserker, Norwegian unique medieval era melee unit that replaces the man-at-arms. 4 movement if this unit starts in enemy territory. Oh, yeah. I think this actually is a total, right? It's not that clear. I mean, I guess there's no plus sign. So it's just 4. It's still good. But, 4 movement if unit starts in enemy territory total. Plus 10 combat strength when attacking and minus 5 combat strength when defending against melee attacks. That seems like literally a double-edged sword. I'm not sure whether I like that or not. Sometimes the terrain can dictate who gets to attack first, and it seems okay, but I've never tested it, so you'll have to tell me what you think of that. Stave Church, ability unique to Norway, required to purchase apostles and inquisitors with faith. This replaces the temple in most normal games. Holy Site districts get an additional standard adjacency bonus from woods, which is nice because you're already wanting to put them there. Plus 1 production to each coastal resource tile in the city. Also very good. Might even lend itself to a bit of science. Who knows? So I feel like the kit is both very specific to naval warfare and everything in between on that, but also quite distributed. Join us for more on how we get to win our Diplo game here with Harald. So a couple of things I want to mention already is that we've already found, Long Bay, I do love that name, and we've been able to make good use of it with a nice holy site getting a real strong adjacency, which helps boost our faith per turn. Though, to be honest, we probably want to buy a shrine, maybe even a stave church when we get the money for it, so that we can push this golden age. And that's the other thing. We are in a monumentality golden age, and we need to figure out where do we want to settle. We have a couple of ideas, but honestly, that's just not enough for a good game. Maybe we go up north, but you can see they've already started here and closing us in. Or maybe we just travel. Join us then. You rejoin us into the mid to late game here. And we have, sure enough, traveled the seas and explored the lands. We've met literally every other civilization now. So we kind of know what to expect. They are all kind of like dominating on this other continent here. But there is still some space to be had over here with Hattusa all alone. But you are about to see us take down a Piken shot. Hell yeah. Now, I am surprised that that did not give us era score for that against all odds, a previous era unit killing a later, more modern one, but maybe it just doesn't appear right now. Maybe we're too late in the game for it. I'm not so sure. Please let me know if you have any solutions to that, because I'm still trying to understand some of this game myself. There's so much to learn, and that's partly what enthuses me to share this information with you guys. Anyway, hopefully, as we have 13 points already, which is perfect position, remember, because the enemies aren't going to hate on us with the voting in the Congress, to make that final push and get the job done. Late game now, and I want to talk about the Congress we just had. We were able to achieve 4 more Diplo points, and that puts us within touching distance of winning this game, but not as close as I'd have liked. Let's just see lay down as how that went. We had 3 different questions, well, 2, and obviously the diplomatic victory choice. We were obviously able to get this because nobody voted against us. As you can see, everybody went for themselves with whatever Diplo they had to show for it. Of course, we had more because we've been playing this game specifically in this in mind. So that helped us there. That gave us 3 points. On to the Espionage Pact, and you'll find that it's actually quite difficult to predict what they're going to do. Often I see them go for siphon funds, and I think that's usually the case, but just have a look at this. Literally nobody else went for siphon funds, but because it's so spread out, because there's so many options, A wins almost all the time in this vote, but the specific choice, you just need to put like 4 or 5 in, and you're usually going to overcome whatever random distribution you face. And finally, the Patronage Pact. This one is obviously about great people, and what type of great person either gets double the amount of points earned for it, or none. Since I am already doing pretty well, since I'm hoping to bang almost, 16, 17, maybe even 18 points here, I want to play it safe. And playing it safe, I feel, is to go for Great Scientist at A. Usually, much like the luxury-based duplicate amenities one, votes like this tend to go against. As you can see, it was 17 to 10 votes against. But knowing which one can often be pretty strange, and sometimes you can definitely get people like Batria and Cleopatra both wanting, as well as Robert the Bruce, wanting the Great Scientist. So as you can see, it was a pretty decent chance that we were going to get this Diplo point as well, but there were just too many people wanting to vote no, unfortunately, this time around. In the closing turns, we're going to hopefully win the World's Fair. We have a reasonable start already. And find more aid requests and other scored competitions to close the deal. And this is the beauty of a Diplo game. Yes, one might say it's a little less involved than other win cons. It may be a little more simplistic, but that freedom allows you to focus fully on the job in hand. Just have a look at this. We have 2 aid requests coming in. 15,000 gold given to each. And why? Because we don't need to worry about building wonders. We don't need to worry about doing science projects. We can just focus on the job in hand, and that is dedicate all our cities to sending aid. With this help, we were able to get such insane values, more than double our closest rival, to more than ensure that we will have a very smooth victory going forward in the imminent turns. It's something that, it's not necessary for every single win con to be as dramatic, as exciting, as full on. Sometimes you want to take a breather. Sometimes you want to be a little more lax. Sometimes you just want to focus on the small things and get the job done. And Diplomacy Victories, in my opinion, offers a lovely sort of like alternative to your otherwise rather highly focused win con strategies that allows you to be a little more free in hand. It's enjoyable for reasons different to the others. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to let me know what you think and what you'd like to see more of in the comment section below. Like the video and please subscribe to the channel as well. It'd be lovely to see you all again.
From your earliest desire to live in peace, to the times when you stood against aggression, you have always sought cooperation. You did not do this merely to brighten your own glory, but because dignity belongs to each of us. And in so doing, you have proved that your ancient and eternal commitment to a shared peace will be the foundation of the world of tomorrow.